Everyone knows you used to be able to deal the most damage in Pokemon by using a Shuckle with Ice Ball on a level 1 Noibat, and nowadays you use Last Respect and Revival Blessing to get like a bazillion damage. What I wants to know, and couldn't find anywhere, was what is the least amount of damage you can deal in one single attack before you round anything up to 1. Let's find out together. My first naive idea was to find out what the weakest move in Gen 9 was. My mind first went to Final Gambit, which when used at 1 HP deals 1 damage. Looks promising, but there's a problem with it. The move deals damage equal to the user's remaining HP, as opposed to attacking with a power of 1. Alright then, what about a move that does scale power with HP? Ring Out is a move that deals 1 damage if the target has 1 HP remaining. Looks perfect, but thanks Dexit. Alright, fine. What's the weakest move that's actually in the game? Well, there's Poison Sting and a Wrap at 15 power. We could use a Chillin' Berry to half the damage from Wrap again, so that's perfect. Now we just need to find a Pokemon that quad resists normal. So, a Steel Rock type. Let's check the Pokemon Showdown Team Builder, and there's none in the game. Awesome. You know, before going down this rabbit hole, I was actually a pro Dexit guy. Now I'm not so sure. Anyway, because there's no Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet that quad resist normal, we're stuck with Poison Sting. Next step is easy. What's the Pokemon with the lowest attack stat that can learn Poison Sting? Mareanie. Slightly trickier next step. A target for the move. Ideally, we want a Pokemon with the highest defense stats in the game that also quad resists poison. There's 4 types that resist poison: Rock, Ground, Ghost, and Poison itself. Of the Pokemon who have 2 of those types, the one with the highest defense is Palossand. To minimize the damage dealt, Mareanie and Palossand will obviously have to have their physical stats modified 6 times each, lowering for Mareanie and increasing for Palossand. If we calculate that damage, we get 1 damage. Right. Unfortunately, we're going to have to run the damage calculation ourselves to get the pre-rounded numbers. Here's what the damage equation looks like. Nice formatting, Bulbapedia. Let's take a look at what it looks like with our numbers plugged into the equation. Giving us a clean 0.6375 damage so far, assuming a low roll on the random variable. Kind of underwhelming, huh? Someone paying close attention to the damage equation might notice an issue we're having, this annoying little +2. Even if we have an attack power of 1, an attack stat of 1, and a defense of 1,000,000 billion, the result of this part of the equation can't ever be less than 2. This means that we're going to have to change tack and focus our efforts on the multipliers on the right side. This also means that it's okay if we have to use a slightly higher power attack, or a Pokemon with lower defense stats, since there's diminishing returns because of this pesky +2. If only there was a move that could have super low power, was affected by weather, and hit multiple targets. Eruption. Everyone say hello to our newest, weakest link, Torkoal. And also, somehow the Pokemon with the highest special defense that quad resists fire is Tatsugiri. So we have our new target too. A -6 special attack level 1 Torkoal with 1 HP remaining using Eruption on a +6 special defense level 100 Tatsugiri is going to deal 0.6376 damage. Now I know what you're thinking, that's a whopping 0.0001 more damage than with Mareanie, but don't worry, it'll be worth it in the long term. Let's get to work bringing that number down. Here are the teams we're using to make the dream happen. It's a pretty simple process, so if you don't completely follow it the first time, that's a you problem, and no, I won't be slowing down. To start, Team Torkoal opens with the only Pokemon on the squad, Torkoal and Alomomola. Team Tatsugiri leads with Shinx and Drifblim. Drifblim starts using Amnesia to buff its special defense while Alomomola uses Rain Dance. Our baby level 1 Torkoal uses Overheat to start bringing down its special attack, and Shinx just sits there and looks good. Alomomola uses Skill Swap to get Shinx's ability Rivalry, and Shinx sets up a light screen while Torkoal and Drifblim continue with their stat changes. Shinx is swapped out for Thick Fat Azumarill, while Alomomola passes on Rivalry to Torkoal. Torkoal and Drifblim finish minimizing and maximizing their stats respectively. Drifblim Baton passes its stat changes to Tatsugiri, while Alomomola grabs Thick Fat from Azumarill. Azumarill is swapped out for Hatterene, while Alomomola passes Thick Fat over to Tatsugiri, and Tatsugiri hits Torkoal with a Water Gun, activating its Focus Sash and dropping it down to 1 HP. Nearly finished, Hatterene uses Magic Powder on Torkoal, turning it into a pure Psychic type and removing its Fire typing. Finally, on the next turn, Hatterene is swapped out for Friendguard Mousehold just in time to see Torkoal's Eruption hit. That was a lot, so we're going to go through all the modifiers to the damage. With Eruption used at 1 HP, it has a power of 13. It's quad resisted by Tatsugiri, and that damage is halved again by the Thick Fat ability, and one more time from the Rain. Damage is reduced by 25% from Rivalry, since Torkoal and Tatsugiri are the opposite gender and Maushold's Friend Guard reduces the damage again by 25%. Eruption having 2 targets reduces damage by 25% one more time, and having Light Screen up protecting 2 Pokemon reduces damage by 33%. Of course, the 6 stat drops on Torkoal bring it down to exactly 1 special attack, and Tatsugiri's 6 special defense increases bring the stat up to 992, which is increased one more time by the Assault Vest it's wearing, making its final special defense 1488. The cherry on top is removing the 1.5 times boost from same type attack bonus by using Magic Powder to remove Torkoal's fire type, effectively reducing the damage one more time by a third. If we assume we got the lowest possible roll, all that adds up to a final damage of 0.0295, or roughly 3% of one single point of damage. And there you have it, the least amount of damage possible. In Gen 9. In Gen 6, it's a different story. Here's the play-by-play. We start a triple battle and lead with Smeargle, Espeon and Trevenant. The opponent opens with Shinx, Dragonite and Scizor, with Igglybuff, Cleffa and Kingdra in the back. Shinx uses Baby Doll Eyes to lower Smeargle's attack, and Espeon uses Skill Swap to grab Shinx's Rivalry ability. Scizor starts to use Iron Defense, and Smeargle uses Superpower to drop its attack another stage. At the end of the turn, Smeargle's Flame Orb activates and burns him. Again, Shinx drops Smeargle's attack, and Espeon passes Rivalry to Smeargle. Scizor uses Iron Defense again, and Smeargle uses Superpower. Shinx is swapped out for a Friend Guard Cleffa, and Espeon skill swaps Dragonite to receive its Multiscale. Scizor finishes its Iron Defenses while Smeargle continues to Superpower. Dragonite is swapped out for an Igglybuff also with Friend Guard. Espeon uses Sunny Day while Scizor uses Baton Path, passing on its 4 times defense buff to Kingdra. Trevenant uses Forest's Curse on Kingdra, turning it into a triple type, Grass, Water, Dragon type. Cleffa uses Reflect, and Smeargle finishes lowering its attack with a final Superpower. The final bit of prep needed is to pass on Multiscale to Kingdra with one more skill swap, and now we're ready. Deep breath. Level 1 -6 attack burned male Smeargle with Rivalry using Water Shuriken into a Multiscale full HP triple resistant impish female Kingdra behind a Reflect and 2 Friend Guards in Bright Sunlight will deal 0.0074 damage. That's 7/1000 of 1 damage. Per hit, of course. And that's the best I've got. If you can think of a way to reduce damage even further, please let me know in the comments or DM me on Twitter. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing, it lets me know you want to see more like this in the future. My goal is to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2023, and also every time I see the number go up, I get a little serotonin in the brain, so it's always super appreciated. Either way, thanks again, and I'll see you next week for some chess content.